There's a lot of research that says it takes 2 to 3 years for a management team to gel, right? Really, where they can start to finish each other's sentences, right? And so the question is where is your particular team on that particular journey? If you're near the beginning, there's a number of new team members, different people have been switched responsibilities, maybe there's been some corporate changes, divestitures, mergers, et cetera. Maybe there's a new plan, maybe there's a new investors, maybe there's a new CEO, but the team's the same, et cetera. So at the very beginning of that, relationship journey, what you might choose to actually have and how often you get together and the is going to be very different. The issue of whether people are remote or whether people are all in one office, I think it speaks to why retreats are so important, critically important when the management team is dispersed. You need time to do that gelling. If you're in the same office every single day, you're in the executive hallway, if you will, there's a lot greater chance to um, build the relationships bit by bit, serendipitously almost, the water cooler conversation, or hey, do you want to just grab a sandwich downstairs? Those kinds of little things that happen. So you have to make sure when teams are dispersed that you bring them together at certain key times, right? It's very, very difficult to sort of run it and build a team and get that cohesion when you don't. That being said, I really think it's a question of what's the objective and where that maturity of that team actually is. So let's just say you've got a team that is really, really gelled. They've been together for 4 years. They know each other's strengths, weaknesses, etc. Sometimes you take a look at the retreat and say, maybe the objective of this upcoming retreat isn't something tactical. Okay, like we need to solve this problem or strategic. We need to do strategic planning. That's the end of the cycle, etc. But maybe when there's a bit of complacency that fits in, or comfort, maybe that's a better word. Maybe the goal of the retreat is to shake things up. Okay, and there's several techniques we can use to do that, and to I don't want to say get people out of their comfort zone, but to say, okay, we've been sort of growing this organization at a certain level, etc. How do we, instead of saying our plan is to 2x the organization, how do we 10x it? Okay, how do we, can we do some planning, some scenario planning where we actually take a very, very different look? Can we take a look at how we might disrupt the industry or transform our organization? There's so much stuff that's new, whether it's AI or the international competition or oh my God, there's so much that could be disruptive, right? So sometimes it's okay, let's take the team that actually is working really well together and let's push them in a way to consider beyond what the normal actually is. And that's where some of that growth happens with mature teams, right? Sometimes it's to say, okay, we've got all this brain power. Let's apply it to a very specific problem. And because everyone's coming from a different perspective, they can solve that a problem in a particular division, or a problem with a particular process, or an external problem, new regulatory legal regime, new competitor, and a new technology, or whatever it happens to be, and everyone will be able to attack that particular. But the idea of taking people outside of that comfort is something that's very important. Is it because of virtual, or is it because everyone's on the same executive floor or the same department sort of area? It depends on where they are on that maturity curve.